Hi, I'm Hilma Volk, and in this video I'm going to talk about what you need to know about your wrist, hand, and forearms. If you've got tingling in your fingers or hand or numbness, it's because there's pinching of the nerves somewhere in between the base of your neck or along the nerve pathway down to your wrists and fingers. And there's different nerves that do different things. You may notice that sometimes your hand can be totally numb and you still are able to move your fingers. Other times, and it's rare, but you can have total feeling in your hands but not be able to move them. That's because there are nerves for sensation and there are nerves that control movement. When nerves are pinched, it's called impingement. And as I said, it can happen anywhere along the nerve pathway, and it's very possible to have pinching of the nerves in many different places. Oftentimes a general physician will just look at the carpal tunnel area, which is the wrist area, and ignore the other places. And that's a mistake, because only between 5 and 16% of the time is it the carpal tunnel area itself, but that's the one that most, especially family physicians, focus on. In this video we're going to concentrate on the wrist and fingers and the forearm, and we'll get to other areas in later videos. So now it's important to have a little bit of audience participation, and you are going to do this, aren't you? Just so you know what's happening here. First of all, it's important to know that your forearm muscles move your wrist and fingers. All the motion that I'm doing here, here, that's all coming from the forearm. Now there are smaller muscles in the hand. They make your hand do this, and they can make your thumb do that, and a little bit of this. But all this motion, that's coming from the forearms. So what I want you to do is take your other hand, feel your forearm, and as you move your hand around, feel what those forearm muscles are doing. Grab your forearm from different places, because you probably can't get your hand around the whole forearm, especially if you got big forearms. Just feel what those muscles are doing. Okay, now, if you look at your area just below the wrist, you'll see these pencil-like things. These are tendon sheaths. What a tendon sheath is, the sheath is the hollow part. Now if you picture a bicycle cable, you squeeze the brake, and somewhere down along the tire, the brake squeezes the tire, and if you let the brake go, the brake comes off. If you do this, like this, you're squeeze, the brake will go squeeze. But in between there, in between your hand and the brake, there's this little cable that goes through this hollow tube. And these are like the hollow tubes, and inside of there is a little cable. It's actually a tendon, a real skinny tendon, and a tendon is what connects muscle to bone. And in other places of your forearm, like here, the tendons are really short, and they're not inside a sheath. They're just connecting that muscle to the bone wherever the muscle connects. But here they're long and skinny. Think of a bicycle cable, okay? Now, here is the carpal tunnel. The carpal tunnel is made up of 8 carpal bones, or wrist bones, and right across there is a really hard strap. It's called the transverse carpal ligament. There will not be a quiz, but the carpal tunnel is like a ditch in which 9 tendons go through, 9 of these tendon sheaths, and the median nerve. The median nerve is the nerve that controls the sensation in your thumb, this part of your hand, this finger, and a portion of this finger, and it's on the palm side. If your little finger is tingling, that's not from carpal tunnel. And if your hand's tingling, it's not necessarily carpal tunnel, but it is a pinching of the median nerve somewhere along its pathway.